This former special education teacher fell over dead today in court on Friday, September 26th. This was while he was in court to be sentenced for killing his wife. So a former special education teacher was accused of fatally shooting his wife. This was back in 2023 while the wife was calling 911. But he reportedly died after he experienced a medical emergency in court today. The incident occurred on Friday, and this was at the 208th District Court at the Criminal Justice Center in Houston, Texas. That's where James Anderson, pictured here, was set to be sentenced to 35 years in prison, and that was as part of a plea deal for the murder of his wife, Victoria Anderson. It was said shortly after he arrived to court, James experienced a medical emergency. A bailiff for the court then administered naloxone, and that was before EMS arrived, and as you know, that drug reverses opioid overdoses. He was reportedly transported by the Houston Fire Department to a local hospital, where he was pronounced deceased at 11:05 a.m. this morning. At the time of his court appearance today, he was out on a $300,000 bond, which is ridiculous. He should have never gotten out to begin with, and he planned to plead guilty in court. Had he not been out on bail, this would have never happened and justice could have been served. Prosecutors said there is an investigation into the incident and his death, and an autopsy is going to be conducted. But according to authorities, James ingested drugs before he went to the court or shortly after he got there, before he was going to be sentenced either way. So here's the backstory of the murder of his wife. On September 24th of 2023, Victoria, the wife, reportedly called 911 to request help, and she told the dispatcher that her husband, James, was threatening to shoot her. Moments later, the dispatcher would hear a gunshot. When officers arrived to their home in Kingswood, James reportedly refused to come outside of the home, but allowed their 3-year-old son to step out of the house. He was eventually arrested after like a 5-hour standoff with police. When cops were able to get inside the home, they reportedly found Victoria. She had a gunshot wound and she was pronounced deceased at the scene. Their little boy was taken to a local hospital to be evaluated, but he was released and luckily not hurt or injured. Police were not sure exactly what led up to the shooting, but they did say that there were previous domestic disputes at their home and that they think they might have been going through a divorce or talking about getting one. According to reports, James served as the chairman for the special education department at Santa Fe Middle School, where he worked since 2022. After the incident, he was placed on administrative leave. It was said prior to him starting his job as a teacher, he worked as a clown and balloon artist, and he performed for children's parties and public libraries. On his online biography for the school system, he reportedly presented himself as a big family man, but in real life, it seems like he was far from that. This absolutely sucks that he died before the sentence was given to him and so that justice could be served for this. In my opinion, he honestly just took the easy way out. I definitely pray for that little boy, though, that they shared together, because I know it's got to be hard to lose parents back to back in 2 years like that. For more content, be sure to follow and subscribe if you're over on YouTube.